Hi everyone, it's Shirley from Shirley's World here. Well, just while I fix my breakfast, I'm going to, I wasn't on it all yesterday. I want to say hi to any replay viewers and hi to the people coming on RCL. Thank you for joining and thank you for the hearts. I'm going to just have myself some oatmeal even though it's not cold out. I like oatmeal anyway. It's easy to fix. I just have some quick oats in the microwave. And yesterday I'd take my dog to the vet. It was just to get her spirit, the female pointer. I took her into the vet to get her nails clipped because she does not stand still enough for me to do it without taking the chance of clipping them too short. And so I just run her up to the vet because my vet's only 2 minutes up the road. So I take her up there. I also wanted the vet to check her out because she's been coughing. She coughs and coughs and coughs and then gags. And then she's done. And it happens, it's happening more frequently. She didn't do it at all when I first got her. And she seems to be doing a lot more this last month. So I don't know if it's an allergy thing where she gets gunk in her throat or what. But I took her up there to be checked out. Her lungs seem clear and the doctor checked her all over. She did have mammary tumors when they first found her in Oklahoma, when she had been dumped out. She had surgery for the mammary tumors, but you always have to worry about whether anything had spread or whether it turned to anything into her lungs. So the doctor gave me an antihistamine for her and a cough medicine for her that I'm going to give twice a day and see if that, hopefully that will help, and it will just be something like allergies. And if that doesn't help at all, then I'll take her back and we'll do some x-rays of her chest, of her lungs. So that's what I did yesterday, besides doing my big grocery shopping for the week at Aldi's. Stir this and then I put it in for another 30 seconds. I went to Aldi's and did my weekly shopping. I started my making a menu, a weekly menu. Hi, thanks for the hearts. I started making my weekly menu, but I've discovered that I made it on Sunday, but I shop on Friday. So I'm thinking I should make out my menu like on a Thursday. And maybe try to shop for 2 weeks. You know, the more you keep me out of a grocery store, the less I'll buy. And that's a good thing. And if I have planned on what I really need, then I think that'll save me even more than Aldi's is saving me. Aldi's is saving me a lot of money. I can already tell. Put a little bit of butter in here. It already has some brown sugar. So brown sugar and butter. The best combination. And, you know, I had some crumbles left from, I made an apple crisp yesterday. Wait till I show you. It's delicious. See? Apple crisp. Well, I had some of these crumbs. There were too many to put on this size dish, so I had a few crumbles left. And so I'm thinking I'm just going to sprinkle them on top of my oatmeal, see how that'll be. Probably, these crumbles probably, they do have some flour in, but there's a lot of butter and brown sugar too, so just try it. I had them left over, so I don't know what to do with them. Then I always add a little bit of milk. So later today, this afternoon, I'm going to tell you about how to tell if you're, yeah, it looks good. Hi, Nature Girl. I'm going to talk about eggs, fresh eggs. I mean, ones you get from your chickens. And even you can do this test on ones you get from the grocery store, but I keep my eggs out on the counter when I first get them from the chicken. But I'll explain all that to you, how to keep your eggs, whether they have to be refrigerated or not. Now this is talking about eggs straight from the chicken, not eggs from the grocery store that have already been refrigerated. So I'll talk about where to keep your eggs and how to tell if an egg is, or how old an egg is, whether it's fresh, whether it's just okay, or whether it's too old to use. So I'll talk about that in a little while this afternoon. And I'm going to make my coffee. Can't go without that, that's for sure. I have to give my dog his cough medicine and his antihistamine. That's what she gave me to give her for her cough. So I have to give that yet. The dogs and cats have already eaten, and the chickens are out, and it's just my turn to eat now. So that's what I'm going to do. I just, did you know you don't put tomatoes in the fridge? Yes, my tomatoes are right out here. That I got yesterday at Aldi's. They're right out here on the... I know you shouldn't put them in the fridge, but I'm not sure why. Do you know why you shouldn't? I started keeping my bananas in the fridge to keep them better, but you know, they weren't keeping that much better. They turned dark to begin with. The skins turned really dark. But the insides were also getting kind of mushy, so I didn't think there was much difference in keeping them on the counter. Oh, they spoil faster. Yeah, it's strange about how some things keep better in the refrigerator and some things go bad in the refrigerator. I suppose it all depends on maybe the acidity, or definitely depends on the fruit or vegetable. But the bananas, my sister kept telling me to keep them in the refrigerator and they'd be fine. They'd be dark on the outside, but inside they'd be really fresh. But I don't know, I don't see that so much. Mine got mushy in the refrigerator too, so. The trouble with getting bananas, which are really cheap at Aldi's, is you have to buy them in this big bunch, like you know, they're in a bag here. These are Del Monte. They're in a bag, but you have to buy this whole big bunch. Well, when it's only me, I mean, how many bananas and how fast can I eat the bananas? I usually have one a day, but that's by the time I get to the end of the bunch, they're dark and mushy. I should make banana bread, I know. I didn't catch that last thing, Nature Girl. What did you say? I should have this closer to me. I have this fisheye lens on, so it shows things really wide here in the kitchen. But I'm here. Oh, I learned something this week. I learned, I crochet, and I don't know what to crochet, so I crochet these little squares, which I use for dish cloths. They're scruffy and they're good for washing dishes. But this is the first one I made out of acrylic yarn. See, this one is made out of cotton. That's the best thing. Always make dishcloths out of cotton. I made one out of acrylic. It won't even absorb the water. It's terrible. So it'll have to be a hot pad, and I'm not even sure what'll happen to it if I put a hot pad on it. I don't need a hot pad on this counter, this soapstone. But I don't know what to do with it now. I have this square. See? Fruits are kept stored outside of fridge, and tomatoes are considered a fruit. Ah. Well then, see, bananas should be in the refrigerator, right? So I'm going to come back on, like I said, about the egg thing, because I should talk about chickens at least once a day, because that's what that I say I talk about when I go on those talk about your scope things. What is it called? My memory is horrible. But I'll be back on later. That was my announcement. See, I wasn't faking it in my title. I did have an announcement. I'm coming back to talk about egg freshness and collecting eggs and where you should keep your eggs. I'll see my horses. I may run out there today, but I go Tuesday for my lesson, every Tuesday. I'll be there Tuesday. Did you see the scope with my horses? With my horses after my lesson, I went in the barn. My scopes are kept on. Yes, oh good. Yeah. I miss going out there all the time. I used to go 4 or 5 times a week, but I don't ride that much anymore, and I don't know. Yeah. I just don't go out there as much anymore. One reason I know is because I'm in such a wonderful barn now. Before, I was in a barn that we didn't trust at all. And we had to, between my daughter and I, we split days, and we were out there every single day because we weren't sure about how she was feeding, and we weren't sure about, she wasn't taking care of the stalls the way we wanted them, that's for sure. So we'd go out and we'd do our own stalls and make sure they had water. But with this barn, everything is top-notch, and the horses are well taken care of, and the trainer that owns the barn and her assistant know far more about horses than I ever will. So that's why I don't worry about them at all when they go out to pasture every single day, at least for half the day. There's 2 barns, so they usually split the time. They put one barn out that are used to each other, and then they bring them in and put the other barn out. But the only times they don't go out is if it's icy or super slippery muddy. But other than that, they're out. Yes, they go out. They also get fed 4 times a day, which is rare in a boarding barn. This isn't really a boarding barn. This is a Arab training barn, but she does board for some people. And we happen to be one of the lucky ones. So she knows. We have classes all the time. Her knowledge about horses is just amazing. So they are down at Sport Horse Nationals right now in the Carolinas, North Carolina. They're at the Arabian Sport Horse Nationals. Sarah won top 10 and I think reserve yesterday in one of the driving classes, carriage driving. That's what they went to do this year, carriage driving. And her mom, who Sarah taught in a matter of a few months to drive, went down and won national champion. She won the championship in one of the classes in the driving. We were all so excited, I can't tell you. So this horse, Justina, her name is Canadian Justina. She's the national champion from last year also. So what a good horse. So yes, we have some champions in our barn. Yeah. When I scope out there, I'll show you Justina. Her mom is so thrilled. Her mom is my age. Her mom is 72 also. So let's hear it for the rusty bits. We call each other in class the rusty bits. The rusty wheels, I suppose it is. So here she is. She went down. She's been a horsewoman her whole life, though, you know. They raised and bred Arabian and Arabian crosses, her and her husband, and she has driven, you know, before, but never, she didn't know the very correct show way, which her daughter taught her, Sarah taught her in the last few months, and she went and won first place in one of the classes. And then she won reserve in the working class, the carriage driving working class. So she is a big winner this year. She will be so excited when she gets home. So I will be back later. Maybe you could get her on Periscope. Oh, I bet she'd love to be interviewed about her experiences. That's a good idea. I'll try that. My friend, the 93-year-old, wasn't too keen on me doing that. I wanted to interview him too, but he has trouble with his words, and you know, he's very forgetful and I don't think he didn't seem very keen on it. I didn't push it, so I'll be back on later and talk about chickens, eggs. All right, bye bye for now. Thanks for joining, Nature Girl.